Following Jesus can be scary. Do it anyway. But Rabbi, they said, a short while ago the Jews there tried to stone you, and yet you're trying to go back? Jesus answered, are there not 12 hours of daylight? Anyone who walks in the daytime will not stumble, for they see by this world's light. It is when a person walks at night that they stumble, for they have no light. After he had said this, he went on to tell them, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I'm going there to wake him up. His disciples replied, Lord, if he sleeps, he will get better. Jesus had been speaking of his death, but his disciples thought he meant natural sleep. So then he told them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and for your sake I'm glad I was not there so that you may believe, but let us go to him. Then Thomas, also known as Didymus, said to the rest of the disciples, let us also go that we may die with him. I remember the first time I was at Magic Mountain, I was in 8th grade, and the biggest, baddest, scariest roller coaster at the time was named Viper, old school. Its reputation preceded itself. Before I even entered the park, I had heard about the 7 different loops and the 2 corkscrews and the 100-foot drop. I was terrified of it. I'll never forget, after a full day of debating with my friends about whether we were going to go on this ride or not, I was essentially forced to ride it because all my friends wanted to. Everyone else in the group wanted to go, even though I didn't, so I reluctantly get in line for this roller coaster, and I found myself in a situation I was absolutely terrified of walking into. Sometimes following Jesus can feel like that day as I settled into my seat on that roller coaster. It can be filled with fear or trepidation of going places and doing things that you would never naturally sign up for. But Jesus tells his disciples that they need to head back into Judea to check on Lazarus. Their immediate response is all about how the people there tried to stone Jesus the last time they were there. These disciples were just afraid for their physical well-being. But Jesus tells them that they're about to witness the miraculous power of God if they go back to Judea, because Lazarus has died and Jesus is going to raise him from the dead. Now, you would think their response to Jesus would be enthusiastic. You would think it'd be filled with anticipation and excitement about witnessing one of the only resurrections recorded in all of Scripture, but it's not. Thomas chimes in with this comment dripping with sarcasm. Let us also go that we may die with him. The truth is, Jesus will invite us to go to places that we would never naturally go to so that we might be witnesses to things we would never naturally see, and experience the power of God in ways that we would never experience otherwise. The disciples didn't want to go back to Judea, but they followed Jesus there anyway. What did they get to experience in Judea? A once-in-a-lifetime miracle and a front-row seat to the power of God. I went on that roller coaster that day. I went on Viper, even though I didn't want to, and it turned out to be the most exhilarating ride of my young life. And I've loved roller coasters ever since. And I really do think it's similar with Jesus. When we give up control and we go where he's leading us to go, especially when it feels scary, we experience him in ways that will overwhelm us, but also excite us. We will be used by him in ways that will make us come alive in our calling and in our purpose. I guess the question to finish this is, what's the scary thing Jesus is calling you to do in your life in this season? And what would it look like for you to follow him to a place you would never naturally go so that you might see him move in ways you would never otherwise see?
Thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to get more content so that you can live and love like Jesus.